So there's something called the economic model of AWS, and I'm gonna be giving a brief overview of what that is. Right now, one of the economic model that you need to be aware of is the free tier. So when you sign up and you have an AWS account, there are some services that are going to be free to you up to a certain extent. There's some other services that are going to be available and free for you to use for 12 months, after which you're going to have to start paying for them. The next AWS economic model we're going to be talking about is the on-demand model. So this is basically the concept of using what it is that you need when you need it for however long that you need it. So whatever IT service you want to use on AWS, whether it's compute, whether you need virtual machines, whether it's for networking, or you need S3 buckets and data storage, all of that, you pay for what you need when you need it for however long you need it, right? And you don't get to pay for what you don't need, and you can give back what you decide not to use anymore. So that's the on-demand model, and that's how it works basically. The third economic model we're going to be talking about is reservations. What happens here is, and this a lot of times happens for large scale institutions, they also happen for startups as well too, but basically if you're a startup or you're a company and you need AWS services, you could go into a contract with them and tell them like, oh, okay, I'm going to be using your service for a long time. And a long time in this scenario means either 1 year or 3 years, right? We're going to be using your services for a long time. We're dedicated to you, and we want to pay for this particular AWS service or this variety of AWS service for 1 year or 3 years, right? Now, obviously, what that does is that it gives like huge discounts to whoever is going to be using this particular economic model, right? You get like crazy discounts, like 40% discounts or 50% discounts, basically, because you're going to be with AWS for a long time, right? But the thing with this is, if you've come into a contract with AWS for like a year or 3 years in this scenario, then you can't exactly just wake up in the middle of the night and decide. Let's say you came into a contract for 1 year. You can't just wake up in the middle of the night 6 months down the line and be like, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore. No, you made the payment, you're going to get your service for a year, basically. So that's the thing. But like I said, the advantage with this is that you get crazy discounts on stuff like this. So it's great. Volume discount. I talked about this before. 1, 2, 3, go. The fourth economic model is volume discounts. I've talked about this before, but it's basically the more you use, the cheaper you get, right? So you use more of the services. I always like to, vis-a-vis this with storage, right? So if you use more storage, the storage capacity that you're going to, buy becomes cheaper the more you use, basically. And finally, the last one is price drops. So what happens generally is that AWS, always seeks to improve and optimize its services. And when it does that, when they do that, let's say when it does that, but when they do that, they basically adjust their pricing, right, to fit their latest optimization or the latest versions of their services, basically. And I think since 2006, when they launched, obviously AWS has first movers advantage because they're the first one to start doing this, right? So, but since 2006, when they launched, they have reviewed pricing across a variety of their products up to 129 times, which is actually a good thing, right? So yeah, this is just like a general overview of the economic models that AWS offers, and I hope you've learned something today. And yeah, the more you know. Take it easy, guys.